minutes or 15 right when 2-2 was finishing, and then spread your guys around here, and then take a small group of guys and go check the watchtowers and just kind of hope that he comes and attacks you here. Because if you push out to here and he attacks you, now he's fighting off creep in your hometown where you've got a planetary fortress morphing in, and that's like a much better location for the first fight to be than up here. Secondly, if you get this up and morphed into a planetary fortress with 2 turrets standing next to it, then you kind of have to go engage him somewhere else. So when you're choosing where to engage, this is a bad choice. You're trying to do an elevator, which is something I talk about in a lot of my casts, but the problem is that an elevator is counting on having troops here, here, and here, and then having guys on the low ground to protect them. So as soon as he walks guys into here, the guys on the low ground start shooting the guys on the high ground, and then your medevacs are floating over here perfectly safe, and it's good times. But you pushed in way too far, so now the guys that you have on the ground are just, they can't participate. So that is something I like to call local superiority. That means that the Zerg has his entire army of $7,000 engaging a teeny fraction of your army, which means in this case 6 Marines. 26 Marines is $1,300 worth of ground troops, and another 5. So it's about 2,300 plus another 500 is 3,000. So you've got about $3,000 against his 7,000. So he's got double your army size participating in this battle. And that's not because he has double your army size. You actually have a not much bigger. Let's see, you've got 6, 7, and he's got 7. So you guys have the same army size. But you're taking half of your army and fighting his whole army, and then the other half of your army is in these 2 locations. So you notice how you have more Marines not participating in the fight than you have participating in the fight. Also, you're pretty medevac light. You got 2 more medevacs coming out now. But I'd like to see this gas be as low as possible. I usually base my entire build around keeping my gas low because you know that you always want Marines, right? So it's easy to just say, well, I'll spend all my gas and then anything left over I'll hold down the A key. So see how these fungal growths are hitting like 16 Marines and 5 medevacs each time? Those fungal growths were very efficient for him. He got a lot done with those fungal growths. And the reason he got a lot done was because this was a bad Marine spread, and the reason this was a bad Marine spread was not because you did a stupid thing. I think you did a good carpet bomb. You carpet bombed from here and here, and you did a good job with it. But when you did the carpet bombing, spreading, first of all, you did it with half of your troops, and second of all, your medevacs stopped. They stopped. So here you go. You see, the spread is good, the spread is good, the spread is good, the spread is good. Oh, they stopped. So now the next 4 waves of guys are all going to be dropped in a big pile. And then on top of that, you didn't hold position the guys you'd already spread, these guys. So these guys that used to be spread out perfectly, now they're going to run back in range of everything. So see this? Fungal growth only hit 5 guys. That was awesome. That was a good spread. These are the guys that you spread out well. So you spread out these 3 and these 5 well, and then the rest of your troops spread out pretty terribly. And that's just because your medevac stopped. So you want to move all the way past where you're trying to drop to, and then move back. I just wouldn't have done an elevator at all with this attack, because when you have, I believe you had like 80. Sorry, let's check. Alright, so yeah, when you have 75 Marines, it's impossible to do an elevator with 75 Marines in a good way, because you're limited to this area, and 75 Marines just take a lot more area to spread out successfully. So I would have come to like right here and spread from here. Why won't it drag? Oh, it's because that's the production menu. From here to here. Like that's enough room for 75 Marines to spread out in. You never want to fight with 75 Marines in the first place, but you don't get a choice. This first battle, you're gonna have 75 Marines. So as you're pushing out, change your rally point so that your rally point is now right here, or right here is even better because it's high ground and it's like beautiful. And then send a couple of guys out front to make sure that you're not going to get ambushed, and then load your 5 dropships completely full so that now you only have 24 guys to worry about on the ground, then spread your 24 guys out pretty well on top of creep so that he can see you coming. Wait for the battle to start, and then do a carpet bomb with your medevacs behind your existing line. And then you'll just have 2 separate spread out forces, and all will be well. This medevac never dropped, obviously, but that's not the end of the world. You never want to fight with half your army, but I already said that. It's really hard to spread out 97 bajillion Marines, I already said that. This follow-up attack I dislike because he just killed your medevacs and half your army, and now you still have all this stuff back here. You have more troops in your main than you do with this attack, plus these guys are injured. So walk home, get healed up, come with your whole army, and set your rally point so that next time you can attack again right away. But even though I don't like this attack, look what happened when you did one attack in his base and then a second attack up here. Okay, so in the first attack in his base, he had a ton of lings, a ton of banelings, some infestors, and some mutas, right? Infestors and mutas are called support, lings and banelings are called meat. Had a ton of meat and a ton of support. So now you came out here, you had a much smaller number of Marines, so you did a great job of spreading them out. You did a really good job with your spread. So look, this fungal growth hits 4 guys. That's awesome. A fungal growth has to hit 10 guys to be efficient, and he only hit 2, and he only hit 4. And even this one only hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of those fungals were in your favor. It was great. You did a good job with your spread, and then he got 4 with that last fungal. And look at what happened. He has no meat. You killed all of his meat, and all that's left is support. Mutalisks, Corruptors, and Infestors. And if you'd had another force coming to attack right after this one, then the third battle, you see how I'm always saying you lose the first, you lose the second, you win the third, you win the fourth? You lost the first battle, you lost the second battle, but the result is that all he has left to protect this hatchery is a couple of infestors. And infestors by themselves can't fight against Marines Marauders. And what that means is that he's going to have to use all his energy on infested Terrans. Or he's going to have to just run away and sack a hatchery. Or he's going to, you know, whatever. So, constant reinforcement, I think, in this game, even though these first battles went quite poorly for you, it already demonstrated that if you had had another attack coming right afterwards, you could have done pretty well with it. One of the main reasons that you're having trouble constantly reinforcing it is because if you look at your racks, they're not always building troops. And the reason they're not always building troops is because you have no income, and the reason you have no income is because you didn't get your third up quick enough. And you'll notice that even though you have your third up now, you have 64 workers and 6 really like 15 patches. So you already need another base. So another really big benefit of attacking again after that first wave is that you could have secured these other bases. So you should have been knocking down these overlords long ago. Here he comes with broodlords. This is just it's a foible of the map. When he comes with broodlords here, your only choice is to take these SCVs and go mine somewhere else. Now, SCVs actually earn more money distance mining from this base all the way over to this base than they would oversaturating this base. So distance mining is bad, but it's not nearly as bad as you expect it to be. I would have definitely taken all of these SCVs and just told them to go distance mine over here. But obviously I wouldn't have had to because I would have already had a command center here and a command center here and a command center here. So these dudes, the only counter to them is Vikings and drops, but you have two starports already and sometimes even 3, so it's not really that big of a deal to eventually get Vikings. And they move so slowly that you should be able to